What is going on, everybody? Welcome to podcast revived episode. It doesn't matter. I'm going to stop saying the episode because I can never remember to look ahead of time for the show. I am your host, as always, Shane Craig, and joining me is the lovely Jessie Craig.
Hello.
So obviously it has been a month since we've done this podcast, as we are now doing this monthly instead of every week. And I'm doing my live inbox videos for the other Saturdays. But this is a podcast weekend. It's the first Saturday of the month of March. So here we are back with another podcast episode. And I think I think the general idea here was let's wait a bit longer in between episodes so that we've got something to say, something more to talk about. And I think that it has worked because I think that we have plenty to talk about today. And it's probably a topic that a lot of you guys and gals, I always do that, all you guys and gals would probably like to hear. So if you guys have been paying attention to the channel here lately, you've seen that I posted a video on the 4th, which is a Thursday, where I unboxed and gave my first impressions on a Galaxy Z Fold 2. And the comments have run the gamut from, oh, that's awesome, I can't wait to hear your thoughts on it, to the Z Fold is ugly as crap, and et cetera, which is exactly what I expected. I expected it to run that full gamut from cool to bleh, or, everything in between. So I guess, but there's a lot more going on than just that. So I guess we kind of have to go over the whole story of why I bought it and the fact that I currently don't have it and why and what's going on there. So, over the last, I'd say 2 weeks or so, really since the February Duo update, Jessie can attest to this. Have you seen my irritation, my complaints, my verbal anger with my phone go up?
Quite a bit.
Quite a bit. Stupid things going on. The one that pisses me off the most, and it's already happened to me twice today, it's 10 a.m. We've been out of bed for 2 hours?
Yeah, not long at all.
Is that I will unlock my device, and then it just won't respond to touch. I can't go home. I can't select an app. It just does nothing. And then I have to lock it, unlock it, and then it works. Irritating the living crap out of me. And then you factor in another thing. The weather's getting nicer. I'm spending more and more time outside. And another thing Jessie can attest to, it is nice out and I'm outside, I spend a lot of my time I just like to be outside. I do my best thinking outside. So I'll go outside, I'll walk around the neighborhood, whatever. I'll just be outside, and I like to take pictures. I like photography. And severe frustration lately using the Duo, because suddenly I want to take more pictures. It's not gloomy and gray and wet. It's it's sunny and nice out. And we're going to see family, and we're spending time outside, and I want to take pictures. And it's not fair to say that I can't, but it sucks. I mean, it
sucks, and it's hard to catch anything candid too with that camera.
It's nearly impossible.
Half the time you can't get the app to open correctly.
I'm oh, there's something happening. So I'll pull up my phone, I'll open it up, and then I unlock it. And it takes, this is a thing that a lot of people don't fully appreciate. The fingerprint sensor works pretty well, but look at the time it takes for you to be able to see the screen. That's a long time. That's slow. So I pull it out and I go, and then there's my home screen. And then and I'm okay, well, I gotta flip it around this way so the camera's facing out. And then sometimes when I do that, it's looking for presses back here. So then the front screen's not working until that thing that says double tap to switch screens goes away. So I'm going to wait that period of time. Then I got to launch the camera app and it is slow to open. And then I'm like, oh, there's fingerprints on my lens because it's the thing that's out front. So I got to wipe it off. And then the thing is gone. It's done. So it's over with. And then sometimes I go to turn it this way to take a landscape picture and then it switches screens to be facing, you know, the wrong direction. And I'm like, you know, and then,
so then you usually have to take another phone with you, which is just like kind of dumb, you know?
Or
it
I'm
sucks
like,
to have to carry more than one.
Or I'm like, Jesse, give me your phone.
Yeah.
Give me your Pixel, please. I know I can just take a picture with it.
Yep. And we do that a lot, which is kind of a bummer. So.
It's frustrating. Granted, the Pixel's a great camera. And here's the thing. Because I see people all the time that will comment and say, well, I get some good pictures off my Duo. I'm not saying that you can't.
Yeah, you can.
I'm not saying you can't. I've gotten some good pictures on my Duo.
If the subject matter is not going anywhere.
If it's brightly lit and stationary and time is no object, it doesn't matter how long it takes, then yes, you too can get a good photo with your Surface Duo. But yeah, if it's even slightly low light, indoors even, just indoors, God almighty, it gets so much worse. So that frustrates me. And that's been on my mind. So it's been buggier and I've been wanting to take more pictures. So that's just, it's been weighing on me. And I kept thinking to myself, yeah, the Z Fold is very expensive, but, you know, Samsung has financing. And you can finance this thing for like $40 a month. It's for a long ass time, but we'll pay it before that, you know, what is it, like 48 months or something insane like
something
that?
Something wild like that, yeah.
It's like 4 years, like that's insanity. But like we'll pay it off well before them. But the cool thing is that less than $50 is all you have to pay, and it's no interest. So like $50. Oh, next month we throw 150 at, knock it out a little bit quicker. We'll pay it off well before then. But like you don't have to. It's like it's no pressure, and 100-day return policy. And in my mind, I'm like, if I can make some videos and those videos make at least $50 a month for me, then it's free. It's paid for itself. So I'm like, okay. And then on top of all that, no one has done for the Z Fold what I've done for the Duo. And this is not me patting myself on the back, but I've done for the Duo something that doesn't happen with I don't see this sort of coverage, and it's always been something I've wanted. If there's a niche device that a lot of people like, and it's a niche device, where's that person that just covers everything about it? That's their specialty. And that's what I did with the Duo. And so no one's really done that with the Fold, at least not that I've seen. I'm sure there's someone out there, but I haven't seen them. I've not run across it, and I think I can do it well. So, and I think I can do both. I think I can do both well. And I think it's worth comparing the two. So you factor all these things together, and I looked at the Z Fold for about 2 weeks, and I thought about it, and I ruminated on it, and I considered it, and I
was like,
do it. She's the devil on my shoulder.
I really am. I do that with everything. You're like, I'm thinking about getting this. It's very expensive. I shouldn't do it, and I'm like, you should just do it. Just go ahead and do it.
So I was like, all right.
Who
so
cares?
I did it. So I ordered the Z Fold 2. And it got to me in like 4 days or something like that. I filmed my unboxing. Well, okay, let's roll back. I ordered it. And right before it shipped, a deal went live that I retweeted that if you ordered it, you would get for free, the Samsung Galaxy Tab S7, which is what this here rectangle is. Mm-hmm. But I ordered it before that deal, a day before that deal. And I was like, damn it, what the hell is going on? So I contacted Samsung and I said, hey, this is what I've done. And can you just add that tablet on there? And they said, nope, sorry, we can't modify your order. And I said, oh, well, that's stupid. I guess you need to cancel that order. And they said, yeah, we'll cancel it. I get an email back a day later and they said, well, we can't cancel your order. You're just going to have to return it when it gets to you and then order it again. Oh. And I was like, okay, well, like, I don't have enough on my financing from you guys to order 2 of them. Like, I'd have to literally get it, return it, wait the 4 days for them to get it back. Then they'd credit my account and then order it again. And I was like, God damn, like, this is going to be another week and a half before I can keep this thing. So we decided, I was like, Jessie doesn't have any credit cards. This would be good for her credit. So I was like, I'll just do another one under her name. So we did that. So I got the first one in. I did the unboxing video, which over 1,000 of you have watched to this point, which is cool. And then my intention was I'll keep it. And then once they give me the option to return it, I'll return it. And then right about then, my permanent one will come in and my tablet will come in. The tablet got to me 2 days after completing the order. The order was placed on February the 27th, the second order. It is now March the 6th. I've had the tablet now for like 4 days or something like that now? Whatever.
Yeah.
And the second Z Fold 2 that I'm going to keep has not even shipped yet. It's not even left wherever they send it from. The first one came from Texas. This one is still in Texas, presumably. And they're telling me there's like weather stuff delaying it. I'm like, what weather stuff? The Texas stuff was 2 weeks ago. It thawed.
Pull up the weather app and you're like, I don't see anything.
One, it's clear. Two, you already sent me one that got to me in 3 days. So what happened the day after that slowed things down, you liars? And two,
we had a little bit of wind.
It's breezy out. The one that I returned is almost back to you. So how can I send it to you, but you can't send one back to me? Mm-hmm. So they're lying to me, and that has frustrated me greatly. So I'm currently waiting. I have half of 2 videos shot with the Z Fold, a camera shootout and a multitasking thing that I started. The camera shootout, I need to film like one more section, like a low light section. It's almost done, but I can't now because I was like, I thought I'd send this thing out and get the other one right back in, you know? Because that's the other one got here in 3 days. So I figured, well, by the time this one is leaving, the other one's going to be here. No such luck. So everything's kind of on hold until they get me the thing. It has an estimated delivery date of March the 9th, which is next Tuesday. Here's why that's bullshit, though. This tablet's estimated delivery date was March the 15th. And it got here. It got here on like the 2nd. So, and
from the same location, right?
I assume the first Z Fold's estimated date was the 7th. I've already gotten it and sent it back. And it's still not the 7th. So like their estimated date is total nonsense pulled out of their behind. So I'm quite frustrated about that because it's a very expensive thing. And I'd like to have it so I can film things and use it and do what I need to do. But we're waiting. We're in a holding pattern. So for those wondering, the Duo is what I've been using for the last several days again, and it's been interesting going back and forth. And I intend on going back and forth between the two in the course of this to really get a good impression of what's going on here. That's where we're at right now. I'm waiting to get the thing back in. I've got this beautiful case that I'm going to use. That's just chilling, just waiting. Waiting for a phone to be put in there, and then we'll be ready to rock and roll. I have been enjoying the Tab S7 much more than I thought I would, though. It's been quite cool.
You've been using it quite a bit. It's
great for media consumption. Great screen, 120 hertz, awesome speakers. I bought this little $15 Casey stand thing that just lets it kind of just do this deal, and that's quite good for like a $15 stand. Really good. It's a really good tablet. Android tablets have come a long way, like a long way from where they used to be.
And Samsung, because I feel like they've really been the leader as far as like non-Apple products in tablets. Like they're the ones that, my family who is not tech savvy, like when they get their phone deals or whatever, they usually will get like one of the Samsung tablets too with it. So.
Yeah. And like, what I really appreciate too is that there's a lot of software carryover. Like their launcher from the Z Fold and the Tab S7 is the same, and like their multitasking interface is exactly the same. And I think that's really smart and really cool. So like if you're in YouTube or whatever, there's this little sidebar that pulls out that, like, let's say I want to do YouTube and I want to do Twitter. Well, you can customize what apps are there, and you can hold down on Twitter and put it either on the left side, the right side, or in a floating window in the middle. So let's go on that side there. And then there's Twitter right there in the middle. You can resize it. You can do whatever you want to do. You can even pull this out and let's say I want to do, let's put Reddit down there too. So now I've got Reddit, Twitter, and YouTube. Let's move that over. Wow. So I got more room for that. And it works really well. And then another cool thing is when you go home, let's say you go home and you do something else and you're like, man, I want all three of those back. Well, guess what? They're still there. And there they all are exactly as they were.
Very smooth too.
It's very smooth and it works. Even like the resizing thing. Like I love how like it works really well. It just works. And it's exactly the same as it is on the Z Fold. It's the exact same interface. So you get used to using it on the Z Fold. You pick up your Tab S7 and it's the same damn thing. So that's really cool.
It's really smart though. That's really smart.
And it comes with the S Pen, which is really neat too. Like I don't know how much I care, but I was using it last night to like snip some things and write on some things, and it works really well. I'm not a big stylus user, but it's there and it came with it for free. So I paid $0. This whole thing, I paid for the case for $15, and that's all I paid for. So that's pretty cool. And then once the Z Fold gets here, it'll be really cool because then I'll have the ability to test this stuff again. I have a question for you, and I probably already know the answer. But if I had in my hand a Surface Duo and a Z Fold 2, and I said, which one do you want? You're taking the Z Fold, right?
Yeah.
I assume
for sure. Absolutely. That's the case. I would.
What do you think? I know you've expressed interest in getting the Z Flip, which is the one that is just the normal phone that folds in half and becomes a tiny phone for your tiny pockets.
Well, clamshell.
Clamshell. Yes. I know that's what you would prefer out of any of them. However, what do you think of something that is a narrow, skinny phone, but then is a tablet in your pocket? Yeah, would you have any interest? Do you see any purpose for you in the ability to reach in your pocket and pull out a tablet?
Oh, for sure. I consume a lot of media. I watch a lot of YouTube videos. I watch just a lot of stuff in general on my phone. I like using the cameras, and I love that huge viewfinder. I think that actually...
That's a great point.
That was something that kind of... I was a little shook when, I held it for the first time and opened up the viewfinder. I was like, wow, like that's really cool.
Yeah. It's actually something I mentioned.
Does it do anything with the aspect ratio, like with the actual picture? Like it just sizes down, right? Like if you were going to post it on Twitter or post on Instagram, it would just be like you could choose the dimension, right?
I believe it defaults to 4:3, which is the aspect ratio that most cameras shoot at anyways. And there's a slight black bar at the top. So like it doesn't totally fill it up. But I believe let me make sure I'm right about that. I believe that it does just shoot in 4:3 though. Yeah, it should be 4:3. So you wind up with a little black bar at the top because the screen is not 4:3. It's like, it's actually some really bizarre, insane aspect ratio it's close to 4:3, but it's a little bit taller. But yeah, that's something I mentioned in the upcoming camera video, which I sincerely hope I will have the Fold back in time to shoot the low light and to post this fucker on Tuesday, because it's like almost done and it irritates me. I could post it as it is and just not have a low light section, but I don't want to do that because low light's really important.
You want to have a complete video.
Yeah, I want it to be a complete video. But I mentioned in the video though that something that the Duo and the Z Fold share is that when you are using the camera on even the Duo, when it's working well, you wind up with a really big viewfinder. And that's nice. That's cool to have.
Nice. Yeah.
On the Z Fold, you open up the Z Fold, and well, that, by the way, we're talking about the Duo doing stupid shit. My bar, that's not supposed to be on the side. That's meant to be on the bottom.
That happens so often.
Like
I see that happening a lot.
That's supposed to be down here, not over here. Like, why? It's so stupid. Anyways, with the Z Fold, you get a huge, beautiful, bright, high refresh rate viewfinder. And I mentioned in this video that we all used to make fun of like the parent at a concert or something, and they've got their iPad and they're taking pictures with their iPad. And I'm like, look, it's not as bad as taking photos with your iPad. It's close. It's close to that, but when you do it, you get it immediately. You're like, oh, well, now I know why those old people were taking pictures with their iPad, because it's fucking awesome.
Because they can see more detail in what they're using it for. Like, I would imagine. Here's the thing. I don't think that I need a phone like that because it looks very breakable and it looks very fragile. I am too dangerous for phones.
Well, look, it's. Before I won't derail you for too long, but one thing: hold the Z Fold, hold the Duo. The Z Fold feels more substantial. The Z Fold feels less fragile to me.
Yeah,
it feels considerably less fragile. Now I know that the ultra thin glass screen is supposed to be easier to scratch than a regular glass screen. I get that. But
and I'm good at scratching screens.
It's got a screen protector already installed on it, and from what I understand from most people, it does the job. I'm still going to put a case on it, not because I think I'm going to be more likely to break it than I am to break the Duo. I've already broken my Duo. It has a broken charging port, and it's cracked. This thing is fragile as fuck. So I don't want to hear from any Duo fanboys that the Z Fold is fragile, because you're carrying a Duo. They're all broken. They have all broken. I'm putting a case on it because it's $2,000. That's it. It's not because I think it's extra fragile. I actually, from what Mr. Mobile did a video talking about foldable devices 6 months later, about how his Fold and his Z Flip are both absolutely flawless. They've not suffered any damage at all. He's like, these things are not as fragile as people think they are. I tend to agree with that. I'm doing this because it's expensive and I want to protect my investment. That is it. Anyways, you think it's fragile. You don't think you should be carrying it because you're afraid you would break something that is expensive.
Yes, that's what I would worry about.
You're hard on your devices.
I'm hard on my devices, and also I have these tiny hands. And for me, something like the Fold makes sense for me because when it's folded together, it's narrow. So I can hold narrow things a little bit better.
Right.
The Duo would be something that, like, I would never try and one hand that phone ever.
Yeah, it's so
I don't
wide.
think I could do it. But the Flip, though, I mean, I don't know why I would need anything like that. But I just really love the clamshell Flip, and it's very nostalgic, and it just reminds me of my little magenta Samsung flip phone that I had when I was 15.
Yeah.
And I used to just go and open it up, and then
there's something about a foldable phone that does that. There's something just satisfying about just clanking it shut. That is that's just nice. I think the Z Flip makes sense for you because it folds down and is smaller, and you have for the women out there listening that may be listening to this, you guys don't have pockets.
Yeah,
your pockets are tiny.
Most of the time, we don't have pockets. When we do have pockets, they're like that. Like, that's the depth. And like, what can I put in there? Like,
a Z
guys
Flip.
have. Their pockets are like that. Like, you can put all kinds of shit in those pockets.
Right. So you mentioned that the Z Fold is really narrow, and that's another thing that I've gotten a lot of comments about, is that people are like, oh, that outside screen is useless because it's so narrow. I've got
not useless. It's still a phone.
Yeah, it's not useless. Like, people, I get frustrated when people speak in really objective terms when they say
definitive.
Yeah, when they say the outer screen is useless. Like, well, clearly you're wrong. It's not useless. You could say it's limited in its use case. That would be accurate. You could say I don't like it. That would be fine. But you can't say it's useless because it's not. Like, that's stupid. That's like me saying the sky is brown. Be like, well, no, it's not. You could say it's a different shade of blue today, but you can't say it's brown. Like, that's just factually inaccurate. So, couple of things. First off, people like typing on that narrow screen sucks. And if you are going to try to thumb type on it, then yes, I would agree with you. It's not it's difficult. However, I found very quickly that one-handing it and swiping was actually not only fine, I don't have big hands either. My hands are a lot bigger than yours, but I have like when I buy gloves at the glove store, they're a small or a medium, right?
The glove store.
The old glove store. You know, you ever go down to
We don't have that. That's not real.
You go down to the old glove store, peruse the gloves. But when I hold it, you know, like this, the width of it is such that you can one-hand it and reach all the way across it.
Yeah, which is nice for people with small hands. That's hard. Look,
yeah.
I mean, I can do it on my.
You can kind of
like that's a stretch for me. Yeah. I have to do the pinky thing, which I don't like doing because I don't want to have arthritis when I'm old.
The old pinky.
But like, yeah, that's even a little wide for me.
So I found that I could quickly one hand swipe out a message very quickly, and I think that's what that screen is for. And here's my second thought on the outer screen that kind of, Copper, don't interrupt the podcast, all right? It's rude. Here's my second thought about the outer screen. I'd hear people, so the Duo has no outer screen. You have to open it to use the thing. I have seen many people say that they hope that Surface Zeta has some kind of exterior display, like a ticker, something that will say, notifications. Oh, I can quit. Like the Moto Razr has a screen on the outside. The Z Flip has a tiny screen on the outside. I've heard people say, oh, well, the Duo needs something like that. So it's weird to me that people will simultaneously say Duo needs a small exterior screen to see notifications, but then we'll turn around and say that the exterior screen on the Fold, which is way bigger than you'll ever get on anything external on the Duo, is simultaneously useless. I think that's talking out of both sides of your mouth, and I think that's
I think that's
a bias
LG
showing. Yeah, I think that I don't think you can hold both opinions.
Yeah.
Simultaneously without clearly being biased, because why would it be useful on your Duo but not useful on the Fold?
Right.
The exterior screen to me, that's what it is. It's something to quickly respond to a text. You're not gonna live in that screen. You're just not. Just like if there was one out here, if there was a little screen out here that was like that, you wouldn't live in that either. You would look at it and go, oh, there's a text message, and maybe you would hit an auto send message or whatever, and then if you needed to do something, you'd open it. Well, why would you not see the Z Fold exactly the same, except that it's an even better version of that, because if you did need to quickly type out a message, you could without opening it. You don't have to open it. You could, if you're not going to sit there and scroll through Twitter or Reddit or whatever like that, you're going to open it. But if you get a message, clearly it's better to have it than not, right? Like,
yeah.
If you're saying I wish it was wider and I could use it like a regular phone more, I could see that. But then you're getting to a place where this device that's already large is going. Then when it opens, it's going to be even wider. The thing's just growing. So I could see that. You know, Huawei's Mate X2. Sorry, Mate 20 is a totally different phone. Has that phone aspect ratio, and then you open it, it's a wider tablet. And if you prefer that, fair enough. Like, I get that. But the idea that the external screen is useless is just patently not true. There were many uses that I found for it in the 3 days that I had the Fold in my hands. You know, I for one thing, just quickly snapping a picture, pull it out, double tap the power button, and then there's your viewfinder, snap, 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 put it back in your pocket. 2 seconds. Or I get a text message on my wrist, I pull it out, unlock it, I swipe on a message, send it, and put it back in my pocket. There's many things like that you could use it for, you know? But then, like I said, you're going to live in that big screen anyways.
Yeah. Even if there's an always on display, and let's say that there was no capability to, you know, actively use the front screen, it still wouldn't be useless. It still would be a display.
It would still have some purpose. And look, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that it's perfect. I would prefer if it was like the Mate X2, if it was wider and you could look at it and it would essentially perform as a normal phone, and then you could open it into a tablet. That would be better. But it's not fair to say it's useless. People are so imprecise with their language, and I think this is a problem that I have more than a lot of people, but I hate imprecise language. I've had many people comment on my videos and say, it's really refreshing that you always caveat things and say like, this is my opinion, or if you're like this, then this, and I'm like, yes, that is intentional. I can speak no other way. That's the only way I know how to talk. I don't say things I try my damnedest to not say things that are untrue, unfactual, or whatever. You'll catch me or confusing. Yeah, you'll catch me all the time. I edit this stuff in the video so you won't, but in the podcast you'll see it. I'll get halfway through a sentence and realize there's a more clear way for me to say it, and I'll jump back and I'll restate it in as clear and as factual a way as I can. Probably almost to the point of being irritating for people that might be listening, but I am not at all. I love hearing half of sentences and then the rest of sentences.
Or waiting for you to finish a sentence.
Yeah, because I'll pause for long periods of time because I don't want to say the wrong thing. Like, just edge of your seat, like, what's it going to be? What's he going to say? I got to know.
Please.
Just say it. I don't want to be wrong. I don't want to say something that I'm going to turn around and go, well, that was wrong. I spoke too quickly. I spoke inconsiderately, and I said something that I did not mean. And I do still do that occasionally, but I try really hard not to do it. And I cannot lie. It frustrates me to read these comments that say, gosh almighty, I get so many comments from, this is not about one person. This is about a lot of people that will say things like, just go to if you don't believe me, go to the Surface Duo Facebook group and read the comments, or go to the subreddit and read the comments. Cause there's some delusional fuckers in these places. But like saying,
let me just jump in there really quick. I think that there's something that's, it's simple to say a statement simply and straightforward, and it doesn't matter what the sentence is, but if you say it straightforward, some people feel like it's a matter of fact.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not.
Yeah.
But if you say something definitively, I think that they can be like, well, no one's going to use the front screen on the Z Fold.
Right.
It's, there's no point to it. And if you just say it like that with no, nothing to embellish it, they're like, oh, well, it's fact because I said it that way.
Well, and
it's no.
I also think that a lot of people don't realize, I think a lot of people don't take things as literally as I do. When you say the outer screen is useless, what you probably mean is all the things I've said. I don't
have any use for it.
You don't actually mean that it's useless. But I take that literally because those are the words that you're saying. And if you don't mean that, then don't say that. Say what you mean. Take the second it takes to type out a longer message.
Yeah.
Tweet at me 2 tweets that mean what you mean rather than one tweet that is fucking stupid and doesn't say what you actually mean. Because I'm going to take your tweet at face value and I'm going to respond to it as if that's what you meant, because it's what you said.
You gotta teach people that opinions aren't facts, and facts
and claims
are facts.
Facts are facts. Opinions are opinions, and claims are not proof or factual either. Claims are claims.
And they require evidence.
If I claim that the Z Fold is worse than the Duo, that doesn't prove anything. That's a claim. I now need you to back up your claim, which is an objective claim, with objective verifiable facts to prove your claim is correct. And when you fail to do so, because you will fail because you cannot prove such a thing because it's too subjective, right? It doesn't, like, Z Fold is worse than Duo for this guy, and it's better for this guy. Ergo, your statement is fucking stupid because it doesn't work that way. That's all I mean.
I want to see you debating somebody and use that sentence. Ergo, you're fucking stupid.
You're a moron.
And the other guy's like,
so
yep, demolished.
When I say that there's people that are delusional in some of these places, 99% of the people in the subreddit and the Facebook group are helpful, friendly, nice people. Okay. But then you'll run into the people who will say things like, and I'm paraphrasing, but only a little. Only a little, am I paraphrasing? They'll say things like, Surface Duo has no problems. Surface Duo is the perfect device. And I'm like, wait, well, that's just wrong. Everyone's charging port. Everyone's charging port's cracking. Like, yeah. What are you talking about? Like, it's a good device. I really like it, but you don't say that it's perfect. Like, you're either a liar or you have no relationship with the world around you. Like, you're in your own world. That's what I mean when I say that.
One of them was like something like no known issues or something for the month of February, or I saw something like that, and I was like, well, so that can't be right. I don't use it, but that can't be right.
On the changelog, Microsoft's website for their changelog, at the bottom, it says something like no known current issues or something like that.
Yeah.
And someone took that and quoted it and commented in the subreddit and said something like the haters proven wrong again, or something like that. And I'm like what
I saw. I think that's what I saw.
I'm like, what are you, like, really?
Haters.
You don't see any people just can't criticize things. I'm critical of everything. I like the Duo, and my 6-month review is going to be very critical. And you know, I liked what I saw out of the Z Fold, but you know, when we do these comparisons, I'm going to talk about instances where the Duo is better and where the Fold's better. I'm going to take it as I'm going to be as objective as I can be, and I'm going to be as fair as I can be. There is no perfect device. If you can't criticize the thing that's in your pocket, I'm sorry, your brain's computing power must just not be very high, because if you're incapable of recognizing a flaw in a device, and I get that you spent $1,400 on it or $1,000 on it, so you don't want to criticize it because then you feel like you've made a poor purchase or something. I get that. Like, that's why fanboys of like consoles happen. Because it's like, I spent $500 on this console, therefore I can't criticize it. But that's stupid, and that doesn't help anybody. It doesn't help the conversation, and it doesn't help the developers. If everybody went to Microsoft and just told them how perfect their phone was, they would have no incentive to make it better. And they need to make it better, because literally just sitting here, I showed you something that's wrong with it. But there's people out there that'll tell you that it's perfect, that there's nothing wrong with it, and these people are delusional.
Yeah.
It's a good device.
And also, for tech lovers, that should be something to be excited about. To sit there and compare and you know,
I love that shit.
Criticize something. Yeah.
I absolutely love that shit. One of my favorite things to do, and I don't get to do it enough, are comparison videos. I love that stuff, especially photo comparisons. I love taking the same picture twice and then jumping back between the two and looking at the dynamic range and the level of detail and, you know, the sharpness and all these things. I love that stuff. It's nerdy as hell, and I really enjoy it. Or this is something I used to do all the time before I was doing YouTube stuff, because I'm a fucking nerd. I would get like a new phone, and I would put my new phone and my old phone next to each other, and I would like launch the same app at the same time and see which one was faster. Yeah. And then I close it.
You do it with mine too.
I like it. I just like to know. I enjoy that. Like, I did a video with the V60 and dual screen with the Duo doing that shit. I enjoy that shit. And you know, sometimes the Duo was faster, sometimes the V60 was faster. And when the V60 was faster, I didn't like feel the need to cut that part out of the video and be like, that didn't happen because I'm a Duo fan and it can never lose. Like, that would be bullshit.
Can't let anybody know.
That would be bullshit. That would be wrong of me. So, you know, where the Duo is better, and I'll tell you right now, straight up, like, here's a spoiler alert for the upcoming videos. In terms of launching two apps, one app, then the other app, and then using both apps at the same time, the Duo is better than the Z Fold 2. Period. Full stop. Okay? I can tell you that after 3 days with the Fold. This is better at that. However, there's not many other places where the Duo seems to be better than the Z Fold. I don't know about battery life. I didn't have long enough to give you an opinion about that because I was hammering the fuck out of that thing, getting it set up. Then I'm going to have to do it again when I get the new one in. But camera, just features, okay? The ability to, all the features that Samsung has added on top. There's a shitload of features. DeX is something I'm going to have to cover. The Fold pretty much takes every other category. And I'm going to go into detail as to what I mean by that in each category, so you still need to watch the videos. But then at the end of the day, here's what it's going to come down to. It's going to come down to the Duo is better at multitasking, okay? The Fold is better at like almost everything else. So so it's going to come down to how you weight each thing I cover. How important, it's like, you know, you've got like the little, you like in like the quartz, the scale.
The scales.
Yeah. So like here, people think of it like each category is a stone, and each stone, like, okay, Duo gets multitasking, blink, stone in that side. Okay, well, the Fold takes camera, so blink, stone on that side. It's not that simple, because for each person, the stone changes sizes. For me, that photography stone might be a little bigger than it is for you.
Bigger.
So when I drop that in, it's going to shift it a bit more. For you, the multitasking stone might be a fucking brick, and you may put every stone on the Fold side and then drop that brick in on the Duo, and it may go whoop, and it may flip it over, and the Duo still might be the better phone for you. So all I can do is I can present to you factually as I can each category, and then you have to decide how to weight those things and what device is better for you. And I'm going to do my damnedest to present that information so that you can make an informed decision. That's my purpose here.
Right.
It's not to tell you which phone's better, because I can't do that. You have to decide that. All I can do is give you the facts and let you decide.
Yep.
That's what a reviewer should be doing.
I think that's important.
That's what a reviewer should be doing. A reviewer, I can tell you my opinion at the end of it, which one I'm gonna daily carry, and I don't know which one it is right now. I can't tell you that yet. I don't know.
I'm gonna predict that you're gonna carry the Fold. I have a feeling that you're going to really, really enjoy the Fold, because it's gonna be more polished. You're gonna be able to take photos better. You're gonna have less bugs. But I mean, that Duo is not going anywhere.
Oh no, for sure.
You're gonna still use it a lot.
Yeah.
And then on top of that too, like, who fucking knows? Like, when what is the next one called? The Zeta or whatever?
Yeah.
Man, I don't give a shit about these phones. I mean, they're cool. Like, but I'm not like, ooh, I want one. But I really, really want them to make one that's like less fragile. And I don't know, I want them to make one that's more durable, you know?
Yeah.
Like, well, I can't wait to see what they do. I hope they do something kind of cool and innovative, but it's probably just going to be, I mean, what do you think? Do you think that they're going to go a more polished route, or do you think they're going to do something more durable?
I think they're going to keep it. They're going to have to adjust, because the Duo has had so many problems with fragility.
Hardware.
So they're going to have to, like, the plastic bezel or the plastic border edge, whatever you want to call it, something's going to have to happen there. Something will have to happen there. The glass on the back, I don't know if it needs to go up to be Victus or a stronger glass or something.
Yeah.
But I can tell you right now, like I said the other day, this is a silly analogy, but I think it holds true. When I first held the Z Fold, I was like, this thing is a brick. Yeah. And I said to you, if I held the Duo and the Fold, and I threw my Surface Duo at someone, it would hurt them, but the Duo would be totally broken. I felt like if I did the same thing with the Fold, I may knock them unconscious, and I feel like the Fold would be largely unscathed. It feels so substantial, and it's metal around the edge. It's Victus glass instead of just regular Gorilla Glass. It feels like a brick. It feels like it could take a fall. Whereas the Duo, my Duo fell about this far and cracked. I mean, you know, I hope that Zeta is far more durable than Duo, because Duo is very fragile.
I feel like the Zeta has the potential to change drastically.
Oh, I think it will.
And the Fold, like, just because of how it's made and, you know, it's a flexible screen, I feel like there is some stuff that they can do to change it a little bit, but it's probably not going to evolve the same way that Zeta will. Like, you know, Duo's going to basically have an evolution like a Pokemon.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah,
I'm hoping. I really hope they do that. They have all this potential that they could do.
Sure.
So
Well,
when that thing drops, you're not really. I mean, if it works, I mean, I have a feeling like you're going to be totally hooked again.
if I've said before, if Zeta can just be as smooth and polished as Fold, it'll be a killer. It'll be a phenomenal device. They just have to make it better. And you know, another way to kind of double down on this idea is that, let's say, if I decide to daily drive the Fold, I can still find uses for Duo, okay? Because Duo is something separate. If I daily drive the Duo, the Fold will probably not get used anymore, because then I will just use something like this tablet. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's no need to use Duo and the Fold, but you could daily the Fold and still use the Duo, because the Duo offers something different.
I could see you using your Fold as your camera.
Yeah. Yeah.
I could see that.
Kind of serving the role that the Pixel 3 had been serving for the last little bit.
But that's still frustrating, though, to not be able to have... That's why, for me, like, I don't want you to give up on the Duo, because it's really cool. And you really have, like, gone so deep with all the content on it. But I would feel bad for you to have to carry 2 phones. Like,
yeah,
I could never do that.
I don't want to.
And yeah, I don't think that that's like that's not a good way of... I know that there are people who do that, but that's really not a good way of, like, living.
No, it sucks.
If you have to carry around 2 phones, that sucks.
For sure.
So it'd be cool to have one that can do everything for you.
Right, and then the question is, what things am I doing, and which device does the better job of doing all of those things?
Yeah.
And that's
where the comparison's going to be really fun.
That is the question. And you know, like I said the other day, or like I said earlier, rather, I don't know yet which one that's going to be. So we'll have to stay tuned, and we'll come back around to it, and you'll find out as I find out, because I just don't know yet. But I think that's going to bring us to the end of the episode. I think this was a very good episode. I think you guys are going to hopefully find this conversation pretty useful and pretty interesting and enlightening as to my thought processes and what to be expecting out of future content. And as soon as I get my Z Fold back in, which as of this morning is yet to ship, frustratingly, then we will get right back on that train and keep cranking out more content about it. So thank you for joining me this lovely morning, Jesse. My name is Shane, and this has been Podcast Revived. Stay nerdy, my friends.